Hi, my name is BUENA Johnson. I am a visual artist and also I'm an arts instructor and the owner of BUENA Vision Art Studio. And before I even began, I want to first thank God for this opportunity, which is being given to showcase my artworks for this 2021 Juneteenth Heritage Virtual Festival. And I'm grateful to Greg Johnson and to the interviewee, Miss Rhonda Love. And the work that I've been inspired to do is about America's history of slavery, racism, injustices, and inequalities. My style is hyperrealism. The media I use mainly is pencil. I also am versed in all medias, but my preference is pencil. I also use acrylics, collaging, and other media. Well, my creative process is coming about because I think as a person of color, all of us have experienced some form of racism. So from childhood, I've experienced racism. And just seeing all of the things that have taken place with the killing of George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, Trayvon Martin, and then tracing our history back to the transatlantic slave trade, with the first slaves being brought here to Virginia in 1619, to the deaths, the lives, and injustices and atrocities endured then and now. All of this has influenced the message of my artworks. And also this new series of inspired artworks are voiced from my soul, and they are on behalf of the souls of our ancestors. And I believe they address the injustices that are relative to Juneteenth and to what is currently happening today and every day in America, unfortunately. So I personally am acting as a recorder, as I almost said storyteller, that's why I hesitated, but as a truth teller and as an advocate. And my aim is to inform, educate, motivate change, and promote healing. But if I may indulge me, I'd like to talk about at least two for right now. One is titled, Madam, a Crown Deserved, You Nurtured a Nation. I know that's a long title, but I wanted it to say what I felt. And that piece, it is an actual old image of an enslaved mother. And she is nursing a white child. And I drew two angels on each side of her, placing a crown upon her head. The history behind this is, the awful history behind this is that enslaved females were forced to breastfeed white babies for their masters and mistresses, because they felt like the master and mistresses felt like the breast milk from Black mothers was more nurturing. And so therefore they were forced to breastfeed their children. And this form of breastfeeding was titled wet nursing. And also the sad history behind this is, and it just touched me so much, not only because I'm a mother, but just for the fact that a person is being forced against their will. The other sad fact about this is that their own babies had nothing to eat because they were not allowed to nurse behind or before the white babies. So being mothers, they would try to get together cow's milk and dirty water to feed their own babies, which resulted in high death rates among their own babies. And so again, this wet nursing was a torturous part of our history. And I know many people may not have ever even heard of this. but it was very prevalent in the 1600s. And so it just touched me a lot. And so therefore I did a piece based on our, again, hidden American history. And then the other piece that I wanted to talk about for me was a kind of a fun piece to do. And it's called Sweet Revenge. Now, Sweet Revenge is kind of a, I guess I want to say a play, no, a truthful depiction, taking back the strength and taking away the stereotypes from how Uncle Ben and Aunt Jemima were portrayed. So what you see in this image, and it's the style is called surrealism, and it's basically all pencil. And what you see is Uncle Ben in the middle of the ocean, holding the stereotypical wheat bowl, but the bowl, instead of saying cream of wheat, it says cream of revenge is sweet. And he's standing in the middle of the ocean with a torch, and he is torching a slave ship. And below you see Aunt Jemima walking in a stride with her pancakes, which of course they stereotyped her as, you know, on the cereal, on the boxes and whatnot, you know, as if she was happy to do all of this, to be of service. So it shows her walking with stride with her pancakes in one hand, and on top of the pancakes is a smoldering skull that's dripping. And then also you have another stereotypical image of how they used to portray Aunt Jemima, and she is literally stringing up Confederate soldiers. And there were many stories about Aunt Jemima, how she helped to feed the Confederate soldiers and things like this. And a lot of these stories behind this were made up just to sell the product. And also in the image, you see Harriet Tubman in the far right, where she has her hand reaching out, saying, as if in saying, come with me so that I could help you or save you. And she has a lantern in one hand to light the way, and strapped on her is her gun in her belt, in her vest. And also in the image, you see fists raised coming up from the ground. And these, you can interpret that any way you would like. But for me as the artist, and I do want you to liberally interpret what you see, to me, the fist raised coming up out of the ground not only represents, you know, saying power, but also as if saying, thank you for avenging us, or as if rooting the what's going on, you know, above ground, rooting them and avenging their deaths of however they may have died, whether they were lynched or worked to death or, you know, committed suicide or whatever. So to me, those are two very powerful pieces that mean a lot, that came from my soul, that actually poured into me. As I stated, they were inspired, I believe, from our ancestors. One thing I want to leave in conclusion about my work and my purpose and my aim is that I want the viewers to hear the cry of the ancestors. I want the viewer to feel uncomfortable with the knowledge of America's history, and to want to make a change and to be motivated to make a change for the better together. And I do emphasize together, because we're stronger together. And all of my work is for sale. I have originals and prints, and I do portrait commissions. I teach art classes. And also I do art workshops to beginners and advanced, and I do also teach privately. I can be reached by email at buenavisionart@gmail.com, and that is spelled B as in boy, U-E-N-A, vision, V as in Victor, I-S-I-O-N, art, A-R-T, @gmail.com. So that's buenavisionart@gmail.com. You can also find me on Facebook at facebook.com, buena.johnson. And just as I spelled my name before, B as in boy, UENA .Johnson. I'm also on Instagram at www.instagram.com/Buena Vision Art. And I want to thank you all for your time, for your consideration of the art that's being shown. And I do hope and pray that it does touch your heart.